Welcome back to What Are Noobs. This is a T92 HMC. It's the tier 10 American SPG. It's got a 24cm caliber barrel and 3 marks of excellence on it, because this one belongs to Oxagon and he's on the south spawn of Halluf. Now, a few days ago he contacted me because he believes that somebody might have been cheating and they were using some mod to do it. And in fact, this video, which he sent in today, actually also appears to have some cheating in it, or at least we think there might be. Now he's moving off to his firing position. There's 2 T92 HMCs on his team, the other one being just a short distance away, and you can see on the mini-map that an AMX13105 is headed straight for the centre of the map. Now there's a TVP down there as well, and he's just been fired on. The other T92 on the enemy team has just loaded. They've also got an Object 261. Well, their Object 261 just hit our AMX-13, and the second shot came in from the T92 and wiped him out. So how did he spot that AMX-13-105? Was it that he was seen by the TVP, or was it a cheat? Rounds out in the Progetto. He gets a direct hit for 482 and gets some stun assist off him just afterwards. And he's changing position. Look at the other T92. Oh, that's quite close for a counter battery. We don't know which Arty that was, but it probably was the enemy Object 261, because they do load faster than the T92. He's got an 1100 output, 60mm of pen, and a reload time of 46.98 seconds. And well, Oxagon's got it down to 36.9. He fires in and it lands short. Oh, but he did pick up some stun assist for 836. So I want them even more and more. And the enemy Super Conqueror has just been wiped out. Now both T92s have made their way over, so they're right at the very back of the map. As you can see right down at the bottom, the enemy AMX-13-105 is fairly close. Oxagon's lining up his second shot on the Wizzy 111 Model 5A and the Object 277. They're right up in the northwest corner, but I think he's changed his target. He wants that M60. Rounds out. Direct hit. No doubt about that. No explosion. Changes position straight away to avoid counter battery. He's got plenty of time to move about. You notice the other T92, well, he's still loading up or getting ready on his next target. It's always a wise move to change position after you fire. If you've got a short reloading Arty, such as the lower tier ones, then sometimes just staying in the same position can actually be helpful. And he's hit the M60 again, this time for 384. Now our teammates are fairly busy close by. We've got a Manticore trying to defend us against an AMX-13-105, and our teammate in the T92 just fired off his next round. And we're going to go for the corner. Now he's marked the ground to let his teammates know that's where he's looking. So the E100 and the Object 260 up there will know that Arty's about to fire a round into that corner. He's lined it up, but they pulled back. Now he might hold on just a little while longer, and rounds out. Here we go. Well, he stunned all 3 tanks and he did get some damage off the 277. It's not a lot of damage, but the stun is what really helps. If the enemy does get stunned, and oh dear, this is not good. A T100 LT has managed to make its way into our cap area, and both T92s are now trying to get into a defensive position. They're both reloading. The T100's coming up here, but the Manticore's around, lining up a shot. Oxagon's going to have a go. And he does get him with a shotgun, a very close range, but changes position immediately because Yep, he was spotted, and the enemy Arty did fire a round in this direction, and it did take out our teammate in the other T92. So we're down to 1 Arty on our team. We're 2 down on the enemy as well on the score. Now, Heshbon seen on the other side of the water. We're almost loaded. This could be deadly to him with that 1100 alpha. If we pen him, he could take a big hit because they've only got very thin turrets. Oh, it's a big one. 958, a low roll penetrating shot, but it is a penetrating shot. And now he's stunned as well. And he's getting stun assist. And the Heshbon is no more. The Badger got him in the end. So that was a really good shot. So I don't think there was any cheating there. I suspect both Artys were spotted, but you can see that Oxagon did the right thing to get the hell out of his previous position to stop the enemy from counter-battering. Rounds out on the TVP, and it's a kill shot. Now he needs to change position and fast. Don't stay in the same spot for any length of time. With a long reload you can afford to move. I think he was more concerned about that TVP T5051 who's popped up on our side of the valley, and all we've got is the Manticore at the moment to protect us. But we are 3 up on the enemy now. They've still got 2 Arty. It's a really good comeback for us. In fact, somebody said that in chat. Now he's trying to get his gun down so he can get a shot, but the TVP gets wiped out anyway. So now he's got a shell ready to go, but no target. Object 260 looking for one of them. Oh, we just got wiped out. It crashed, actually. We're going for the Foch. And it stuns the Foch. Unfortunately, it also partially damaged the Jaegeru that was there. Rather stunned him as well. But now it's down to just the 2 Arty on the enemy team. The Object 261 T92. Now, if they're going to do a counter battery, now will be the time that they do it. Now, if they are using a cheat, they probably will be able to locate Oxagon without anything else other than the cheat mod. But he doesn't appear to be cheating because look, he did get spotted and he's got taken out. So it's just the Object 261. Now, he could be on the east side of the map. The Manticore's about to find out if he's there. Could be sitting on the east side of the map, or he could be at the back here. He's not at the back here, so he must be on the east side of the map, somewhere up around about F0. Or up here. Manticore's looking. Here he comes. Okay, so he's pre-aiming. And there he is. He's right on the edge. And I think we might be able to get a kill shot here. Rounds out. Oh no, it's RNG made the shell go short. And the Object 261 gets a second chance to hit our Manticore. But he's out of the game because the Manticore fired one back at him. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for Oxagon in the T92 HMC. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10. He also got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And in fact, he only ended up with 2 kills in the end of that game. And one of those was the T100 LT, which he shotgunned, and the other one was the TVP T5051. Right up with the northwest corner of the map, he fired the round in, hit the rear of the vehicle, and because these things don't have much in the way of armor, he took him out of the game with a penetrating shot. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, when it came to damage, it was actually the Object 260 on the enemy team got 4,046 hit points. Did he get the high caliber? No, because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. But the second highest damage in the game actually went to Oxagon with 3,527. And the third highest damage went to the Type 5 Heavy on the enemy team with 3,066. When it came to kills, this time round it was the Death Star, the FV215B183. He got 3 kills in this game. 2 kills went to Oxagon, the Manticore, and the Object 260. And on the enemy team, the enemy T92 HMC got 2 kills. So did their Wizzy 111 Model 5A and their TVP T5051. When it came to base XP, it was Oxagon. He did 1,108 base off that game. 1,052 went to the Object 260, and the Manticore came back to try and rescue us. He got 1,003, and those were the only 3 players who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game. Oxagon fired 10 shots in that game. You only get 16 rounds of ammunition, so he had plenty spare at the end of the game. 5 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrations. Now, the penetration, we do know one of them was the TVP T50. He did penetrate the Heshpan as well with that shot that hit the turret, and he earned quite a big score off that guy alone. He also got 11 splashes on the enemy, 3,527 hit points of damage, of which 3,059 were at more than 300 meters. The other close shots were actually that T100 LT, who got very, very close. Now, his shot didn't kill the T100, but it slowed him down long enough for the Manticore to finish him off. 10 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, so that's a good ratio for a Confederate. 198 hit points of damage assistance and 4,070 hit points of stun assist of 10 stuns, and that's why he got the ace tanker. It's not only a decent amount of damage from actual damage, it's also a fairly decent amount from stun, and combined that's 7,500 hit points of damage overall. And it was off 10 stuns as well, so every shot he fired had some stun element to it. He earned 56,089 credits off this one, and after resupply of ammunition and consumables, he actually came away with 19,134 credits profit. If he'd actually done it on a free-to-play account, he would have lost credits. 1,108 base XP, or partially base, 3,324 from personal missions payout, and took away 4,986 experience points altogether. So you have to ask yourself, was this cheated? Was that AMX13105 killed with a cheat at the start of the game? Probably not, because he may have been spotted by that TVP, who also made a quick dash for the centre of the map up near the northwest corner, and I think the AMX13105 was spotted, and the enemy Arty took advantage of that, and both Artys fired at the same spot and took him out. So I don't think there was cheating. I do think, though, that the other Arty on our team was spotted, or at least his tracer was spotted with the first counter battery, and the moment they were spotted by the T100 LT, the enemy Arty made a quick beeline to try and put a shell on him and succeeded, and he went out the game. So, what cheat are we referring to in this instance? Well, we suspect that it's not the version we showed about 2.5 weeks ago. That was somebody loading into the battle on both teams at the same time using a cheat, which is basically he had different accounts and he used both accounts to go into the same battle at the same time, or press the start button at the same time, and that's how he managed to get a battle with a tank on either side of the game. Both tanks were the same, they were both Hummels, and therefore he was able to load into both battles because the matchmaker matched both tanks to the same game on Malinovka. What we might be seeing in the next game is Redborn. This is a cheat which you load as a mod onto your PC and can be spotted by Wargaming. So if you do use it, you are taking the risk of being suspended or banned. So it's not wise to do so. How it works is that apparently the system is capable of working out where the tracer is, and the mod actually puts a little red dot where it thinks the enemy Arty is by looking at the tracer and where the tracer starts from. Of course, Wargaming have modified the tracers now so they don't start directly from the end of your barrel, they start some distance off. So if you do use Red Bull, there's a good chance that you're not going to get the exact position. But if all the red dots appear in the same spot, then obviously the cheat is actually telling you that the enemy Arty might be at the end or where all those red dots are accumulating. Please don't use Red Bull. It's just not worth it. Play the game properly. I know most Arty players will. I think it's just a few of the tank players who need to cheat because, of course, they don't know how to play Arty properly. Well, we'll see. Let's have a watch of the replay and see if someone is cheating. So here we are on Prokhorovka. Let's see if a cheat is underway. Now, Oxagon mentioned that what actually happened was he was counter-batteried, and very accurately as well. And it appeared that even after he moved position, he was still counter-batteried again. And that shouldn't happen if you have moved and relocated after each shot. Now remember, he has a standard reload of something like 36.9 seconds, and he has gone to the most frequented position for Arty in the game. Now look where the circles are for the Arty on the minimap. He's loaded, rounds out. He fires, goes long, but he changes position. And straight away he's counter-batteried by the Conqueror gun carriage. And notice how close the shell was and how far away it was from the actual firing position. He was a fair distance away from the impact point. Now that's a long distance for RNG to take the shell, but he's gone to a new firing position. He did lose 70 hit points, but he's now dialing in on this M48 pattern, who's just south of the bowl. He'll fire and then move as soon as he's spotted that M48 again. He's lost sight of him. He's decided instead he's going to go for the TVP T5051. Not fired yet, so if there was a counter battery at this moment, there's a tree going down. That tells us somebody is there. And another tree goes down. Okay, we've got an STB1 in sight, so we will go for him. Okay, watch him move. Rounds out. Okay, he's fired the moment he moved, and he's off. And this time round, he'll move quite a bit more than before. Well, no counter battery. So if they were to counter battery him in this position, that would be very unusual indeed. The Batchat didn't get counter batteried either. Now he's going back to that M48 pattern again. Dialed in, rounds out straight away, and he's off. Not stopping to check his shot. And we're going to follow him because we want to check and see, is this counter battery or is this cheating? You can see the Batchat's missing a lot of hit points as well, so it looks like he was counter batteried as well. Okay, almost loaded. Decided the TVP is the target. Rounds out. Fires. Moves. Hasn't moved that far. But look at that. Counter battery came in directly where we were only a brief moment ago. And you notice the ring on the minimap was actually very, very close. Does look suspicious, doesn't it? Okay, an ST2 up at the center line. We're almost loaded. Ready to go. Rounds out. And we move. It's not stopping to check at all. The enemy Arty is a T92 and a Conqueror gun carriage. So they've got about the same time on reloading. You've just heard the rumble of Arty in the distance. And look at that, comes in almost where we were. Well, a bit further over. And the Batchat has moved virtually near the spot where we were counter batteried earlier. So Oxagon's decided to go to the corner. It's just a smart move. Let's see if he can follow us to the corner. Okay, the Batchat's just fired and he's relocating straight away. Now, we're looking up at the hill, but again, we've gone to the M48 pattern. Enemy RT, I think, just fired. Yes, look at that. The ring has appeared near where the Batchat 155-58 was located. So I think they are tracking the tracer. Round out on the FB4005, and it's a kill shot. Now he's moving, and we're following the spot where he was. He's backing up. So he's got his first kill of the game. You can see that one of the RTs actually fired at our Object 279E. The other one hasn't fired yet. We're almost loaded. Jaegeru. Fully dialed in, ready to go. Fires, rounds out. You could see the tracer there for a brief moment before we fired. Are we going to see a counter battery coming back in this direction? You can see the Batchat 155-58 on our teams decided to go over to the other side of the map, and the enemy Arty just fired at our tank, our TVP T50-51, or was it? No, it was the Viz-55, and he took the Viz-55 out the game. Okay, there's the enemy 215B, which is the heavy tank one. And the enemy RT this time round fired at our tank on the hill. So we're aiming in that general direction. There he is, E100. Rolled in, rounds out, and changing position straight away. 201 hit points from that one. And he's just a short distance away. I should say, and a lot of RT players have said to me that this is true, if you aim at counter battery most of the battle, you're actually giving away the chance to the enemy to kill their tanks, and it's actually stunning and killing their tanks, which is much more important than counter battery. I know they would say they would much prefer you to kill the enemy Arty, get them out the game, but only if you can actually work out where they are. Both RTs fired at our Object 279E on that round. That's where the splash symbols came up. The little rings on the mini-map. Oh, and they've got a Progetto 65 now. Let's see if we can get dialed in. We're aiming in that general direction, and rounds out. Oh, we got close, but not close enough. And Oxagon changes position. Okay, there's the Progetto that we aimed at before. And we just saw the tracer from one of the RTs, and I think that he's actually behind his own cap area. Up on top of the hill, we can see the FB215B, the heavy tank. I mentioned that it's the heavy tank, by the way, because there are two FB215Bs in the game. Oh, and that was a direct hit! He actually got a direct hit on the enemy there, but he's umming and ahhing about making up his mind where to go. It's important to know which one you're referring to, the Death Star or the heavy tank, and yes, this game appears to have the heavy tank version. The enemy went after our Object 279E again. Of course, Arty is the most effective counter to an Object 279E. We're looking for that CVP T50-51 somewhere on this side of the map. Our guys are hanging back from the center line, which means obviously we can't see them. In fact, our T110E4 is actually hiding in the corner. which is not the place for a T110E4 to be, especially when they've got as much health as that one seems to have. The good news though is that 279E is getting close to the road on this side of the map, and he might be able to give us a spot. This is a rather protracted battle, but it does appear to me that the enemy has the advantage. They're 2 tanks up on us, and they have more hit points as well. Nearly 1,000 hit points more. And okay, the TVP's coming to sight over on the other side. But the tank we're after is the E100, because he's just wiped out our Leopard. Okay, so yeah, that was our last tank on the east side of the map. Rounds out the E100. Direct hit. Now he does need to move. He's only backed up a little. And there's the rumble of enemy Arty. Yeah, unfortunately that was the Conqueror gun carriage and just hit us for 321. I think when he backed up, he didn't back up enough. And he possibly should have gone forward and turned as he did. And that might have put a bit of distance sideways between him and the firing position. You see his reloading went up while he was stunned from 36 seconds to 52 seconds. And now we're down 4 on the enemy. Yeah, so if you back up just a little, you're still within the line of fire. The enemy Arty may be able to work out the tracer and just go back a little bit on the tracer, and that's why he got such a good hit. Unfortunately, all 3 tank destroyers left on our team are holding on this particular corner of the map. We're now looking to get a shot on the E100 as he's getting closer, and that was Arty firing again. And this time round he got us. Now I think he might have been aiming at the E4. It's possible. The E4 was only a short distance away. You can see him there. He's now using the wreck, Oxagon's wreck, as a firing position, a bit of cover. But that would presuppose that somebody saw the E4 and was able to shoot at it. And he was behind all the bushes, so he may not have been seen. But it is possible that the shot at the E100 was what gave us away. I'm not sure though if he actually did fire at the E100 at that particular point in time. And another shot comes in from the enemy Arty. I think that is the Conqueror gun carriage. More shells coming in. That's the other Arty. They're focusing their fire. Well, we do know where one of the enemy tanks is, and that's the enemy T110E4. And he's only a short distance away. And yeah, the RT and the T110E4 both fired in this direction, and that was the end of our one. So it might have been that the enemy Arty was after our E4 and actually took out Oxagon, but it was a very accurate shot. It seemed to hit us directly and take us out. Okay, well, the enemy is capping, and now there's only one left on our team. The Striv 103B, and he's about to meet the E4, and this should be the end of the game. There's one hit, and there's the kill shot. And the kill shot was the FV215B heavy tank. Here's the end of battle results, and sadly Oxagon only got a bruise medal for that battle, and that's all. He did get 8 critical hits in the game, so he more than qualified for the bruiser. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Well, when it came to damage in this game, he actually came second on his team, but he was actually in, let's have a look. There was 3 players on the enemy team ahead of him, 1 player on his own. That puts him in 5th place overall in the game. The highest scorer was the TVP T5051 on the enemy team with 4,146. He didn't get a high caliber because he didn't get 20%. The second highest damage actually went to the Leopard 1 on the enemy team with 3,781. And the third highest damage went to the Gorilla 15 on our team with 3,755. Oxagon got 3,290, so he was very active until, of course, he was counter-batteried. If we look at the number of kills, we can see the highest number went to the E100 with 3 kills. The enemy T92 managed to get 2, and so did the T110E4s on the enemy team and their FE215B, and lastly their Leopard 1. On our team, it was only the Gorilla 15 and the Shure MV7X that managed to get 2 kills. And in joint 3rd place is Oxagon with just 1 kill. And we can see that the enemy Arty did seem to be fairly active, because the Conqueror gun carriage did get 1 kill. Of course, that was us. And the other one was the T92. Yes, so they were fairly good. Whereas our batch at 155-58 didn't get any kills, but he did get some damage. We fired 11 rounds in that game, or rather Oxagon did. He got 5 direct hits on the enemy and 1 penetration. Now let's quickly check which one did he penetrate. Well, it was the FV4005, and he got 1 penetrating shot on that guy, 724 hit points of damage. He also got 8 splashes on the enemy, 3,290 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He did receive 3 splashes from the enemy and 6 enemy vehicles for damage. 1 was killed, 456 hit points of stun assist. So he narrowly missed out on getting a Confederate medal. If he'd actually not killed that enemy tank, then he would have actually come across or come away with a Confederate. At least I hope he would have got a Confederate. Let's just have a quick check to see, did any of the enemy come away with a Confederate, and just check. Well, one of them did, and that was to Brigetto, and he got 8 and 0. So no, Oxagon would not have got a Confederate out of that one, because he had a much better ratio than Oxagon did, I'm afraid, in that game. 456 hit points of stun assist of 8 stuns. He earned 27,896 credits, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, took away a loss of 53,172 credits. 378 XP, but took away 567 experience points altogether. So my opinion, for what it's worth, is that there were some questionable shots, specifically from the Conqueror gun carriage, because he managed to land a round right next door to Oxagon after he changed position. So it was almost like he was watching where Oxagon was moving to after he fired. The shot landed only a short distance away from his firing position, but it was too far away for it to be a coincidental shot. It looks, if the guy was trying to get Oxagon, he would have fired on the original position he was in, but he didn't. He actually fired on where Oxagon actually was, and there's no possible way that he could have known that Oxagon had actually moved in that specific direction. As for the other shots, well, he did stay in the same position after firing and just moved back a little, and that really has to be down on him. But the other one is that he was actually directly in front of the T110E4 when he was hit, and it could have been that the enemy saw the T110E4 and not Oxagon, and Oxagon happened to be a unfortunate happy accident for the enemy, that they took him out even though they didn't realize he was there. So I don't think he was the victim of a cheat, but I think he was a victim of very accurate counter battery. Somebody was watching for the tracer and managed to work out where he was on most of the time they fired at him. But yes, just one that was suspicious, and it could have been down to RNG. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. If you did, please give the video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.